Can you tell us a bit about the players that you brought in?
Yeah, look, we've got the first target we had when I first came in anyway was when we assessed the squad, and obviously there was a lot of speculation about the players. Our first thing was to keep the players here if we could. So for me, that's been the biggest bonus, that we've kept our best players in the building. But then once we've done that, we've had to assess where we feel we need strengthening in competition, to cover injuries, to make sure that we've got a squad to sustain our performance levels over. We've got quite a hectic fixture list, so we've added players into places where we felt we had gaps in our squad, in competition and as in cover as well. So we brought in a little bit of experience with Eddie Nolan and Jordan Roberts, and there's another young player on his way up this morning, and it's just to make sure when we look at that board and we've got that squad in front of us that we can see at least 2 players in every position, and we can train properly against good opponents, because I think that's important, that the standard that you train at always transfers into games. And like I say, we've got a hectic fixture schedule, and I think the club over the last 6 months has had quite a few injuries, and once you get out of the window, if those injuries occur again, you're short. So we've tried to make sure we can sustain them.
You talk about keeping hold of your best players. Were there any challenges to that? Were there teams sniffing about some of the players? Obviously Stephen O'Donnell had a contract as well.
Yeah. Look, it's I think I've said a couple of weeks ago, and it was before I got to know the players. But after a few days, I didn't see any player that wasn't committed to his daily work and to Motherwell. So, and as we've progressed through 4 games now, I think you could see that. You could see the performance. You could see us go down to 10 men and still be fighting for every ball. You can see us go a goal down at Ross County and turn around to win the game. And that comes from a togetherness and a spirit that the squad have got, and those individuals have been a major part of that. Obviously one's our captain. And so for me, keeping them on board was important. We knew that there was a possibility of them leaving. I think we had turned down substantial bids for Alan Campbell in January, and that was probably 10 days ago or so. And you see in Alan's performances, nothing's changed. He is an absolute top professional, and he's just wanting to win. So the same with Declan, the same with Steve O'Donnell. So for me, if I thought they were not focused on us and they were looking elsewhere and it was affecting their performance, then we would have probably helped that happen, because we only want players committed. But all I've seen is every player committed to what we're trying to do. So like I say, I think that our best bit of business over January is those boys still being here at the start of February and committed. That's for me, that's brilliant for everybody.
It sort of showed the club's ambition, because it could have been easy to accept a big money offer for a player who's got 6 months out of contract. So
I think so. I've sat down with Alan when it was happening and had real good conversations with him. He's a young player, but he's got real good experience for such a young age, and for me, I spoke to him, and I think he represents what we want to be as a club. We understand we don't want to stand in people's progression, and if they can achieve their goals and ambitions of playing at the highest level they can, then that's great. But our first focus has to be Motherwell. It has to be the club is the biggest thing, and the biggest thing for us is staying in the Premiership this season. So without those players, those individuals, and certainly without Alan Campbell, our job would have been harder. So I explained my thoughts on it, the club's stance on it, and Alan's response has been absolutely top notch, which I would have expected from a player of his calibre, which will hold him in great stead for the rest of his career. I've no doubts at some point we will lose Alan Campbell, and he will play at a very, very high level, because he's a very good player. But my first focus and now is doing the best for Motherwell. and that's the biggest thing for me. And but when I explained that to Alan, he understood. And I haven't seen one. And I've been in the game for a long time, and I've seen it. Nothing, not 1% of a drop from him or any other players, which has been brilliant.
In terms of the players you've brought in, the 6-month deals and loan deals, is that just because of the current climate and not knowing what football is going to look like, more than anything?
Yeah, I think it suits everybody. To be fair, obviously a couple of loans have come in, but they've still contracted to their parent club, beyond this season. The speed of the deals, the lateness was really difficult to do anything longer term, and we've took a couple of players that their contracts are running out elsewhere. They know they're not getting a new contract, and they're coming into this environment to earn a contract going forward, or to showcase what they've got. So what we want is players motivated by whatever personal sort of position they're in to perform at the highest level, and that creates that sort of that environment that it's a competitive one, and they want to win. So it suits those as players, but it suits us as well. That we need the most important period for this club is the next 3 or 4 months to maintain our Premiership status.
It's been fairly relentless since you came in as manager. How's it been having a full week with your players, and what have you managed to work on?
Yeah, it's been good, because you don't get that often. Certainly in my previous jobs in England, it's Saturday, Wednesday, basically, all the way through the season. Or Saturday, Tuesday, sorry. But it's good. When I thought about this job and spoke to a couple of people, they spoke about in normal times anyway, the amount of time you get on the training ground, which is a bonus for any coach or manager. So that was one of the lures to actually. That's what we love to do. We love to be on the training pitch and be around the football. So it has been valuable for us. It's really fortunate for us to have that time, because it is, we were here for a day and we're straight into a game. So it's quite hectic, but it's been invaluable, because for us, we've seen a consistent performance from our team, and that only comes from the training. And the boys have took those aspects from the training and they've showcased it in games. But we have to continue to replicate those sessions, replicate those ideas, and fine-tune things, because we're not perfect, we know that. So there's still things that we need to improve on, but without a doubt there's lots of real positive stuff that we have to maintain. But the players have to understand what they're doing well as well, so we spend a lot of time on that. But to a man, the players have been absolutely brilliant on both sides, on the pitch, but certainly off it when we're doing the analysis. Their ideas and their feedback has been exceptional.
We're looking for the team to build on the confidence that they all got from Dingwall.
Yeah, 100%. I said that after the game, that you can only win 3 points in one game, but it has to count for more than that for us in the bigger picture. It has to be taken forward into a consistent run of results, and that's what our aim is, because it's we don't want to just pick up sporadic wins. We have to try and get a consistency to our results. We certainly have had a consistency in our performances in the last 4 games. Not for full games, but you have to give the opposition credit for that as well. But certainly for big chunks of those games, we've played really well and played some good football. And then we turned it into a win. So it's a slight progression each time. And that's what we have to try and do tomorrow against Dundee United, which will be just as tough as any game we have played this season. Certainly in my time here. But I've been there as a player. You win games, you're playing well. It gathers momentum, but we have to understand that what we did last week does not win us the points tomorrow. We have to go and do it again, and that's the biggest thing we've been trying to get into the players this week.